Hey Bacha Party, how are you all? So welcome back to my channel, The
Akarsha
Universal
attend craft
Classroom.
videos.
So I'm your teacher from the Universal Classroom. So today I'm going to start the lesson number 2 of the Science 1 Standard 10, that is periodic classification of the element. I'm going to start. So it's a basically descriptive lesson and you don't need to solve any mathematical equation in this. And this is a scoring lesson which you could score maximum marks from this lesson. Okay, very easiest lesson and also the scoring lesson. So please focus on this lesson because it's a very important lesson and many of the questions came this year in the board exam. So I thought I should teach this lesson once again. So let us start with the lesson number 2, that is periodic classification of the elements. So elements are their classification. First we'll know elements and their classification. So let us start. So basically there are 118 elements in our periodic table. So are you aware about the periodic table, that is modern periodic table? Modern periodic table, are you MPT, modern periodic table? Okay, so are you aware about that periodic table? If you are, then let me know in the comments. So let us solve these questions first about the periodic table. So here it is given that what are the types of matter. So matter is basically divided into two types, temporary and permanent is further divided into solid, liquid and gas. If you want my handwritten notes, then please let me know in the comment. I'm very eager to share with you. Okay, so that's the answer of first question. How many types of matter? There are two types of matter. Okay, but if we are basically talking about the permanent, then there are three types of matter. What is matter? Matter is something which has mass and occupies space. See, you should write solid, liquid and gas. That is, answer is 3. Okay, so what are the types of elements? So elements are basically classified into three types: metal, non-metal and metalloid. Okay, I hope so you are aware about it. What are the smallest particle of the element? That is atom. I have a question for you, that who discovered the atom? Let me know in the comments. If you don't know, then I'll tell you in the comments after a few days. Okay, so what is difference between the molecule of element and molecule of compound? So molecule of element has only one kind of atom and molecule of compound has different kind of atom. Okay, that's the only difference between them. If you are not aware about the terms atom, molecule, compound, elements, compound, mixture, atomic number, atomic mass, then let me know. I'll give you my descriptive notes. Okay, so now let us start with this. So elements of classification. So there are 118 elements in our modern periodic table. So why we need to classify the elements? So we are known to the 4 scientists up till now who had classified the elements, but the 3 scientists, there are some demerits in their classification, so their classification got failed. But the one scientist, that is Henry Moseley, who given the modern periodic table, there is no demerit, so his classification didn't got fail, and we are using the periodic table now also. So prior there were lesser elements to study. As first there were just two types of elements, metal and non-metal. Then the third type of element, that is metalloid, came and the number of elements started increasing. So in this case it was very hard to study all the 118 elements. It was very hard to study all 118 elements. So how to study that? So we need to classify them. To study this we need to classify them to study. Okay, so there are 4 scientists who classified this. The name of the scientist I'll write in a short. So classification is given by Dobereiner. Firstly Dobereiner given, then given by Newland, then Mendeleev, and then Henry Moseley. Okay, so these are the 4 scientists, those who given. So what is the need of classification? It's very simple. If their question might come like this, need of classification. What is the need of classification? So the need of classification is just to study the elements. What is the need of classification? Classification क्यों चाहिए? To study the elements. People to study all the 180 elements at once. So the elements are classified like metal, non-metal, metalloid, their atomic masses, atomic number, the electronic configuration, everything. Okay, so this is about classification of element. So moving towards our scientist. So first scientist is Dobereiner. Okay, if it is asked who given the Dobereiner triads, then don't write Dobereiner. This is apostrophe S. Okay, remember this. Okay, while writing also, this is apostrophe S. It is Dobereiner. Okay, so in which year Dobereiner gave this classification? In the year 1817. Okay, who was he? Dobereiner was a German scientist. This you could, if you are writing this in paper that he was a German scientist, the invigilator will be impressed by you. Okay, so Dobereiner suggested that this you have to underline that the properties of elements are related to their atomic masses. मीन्स डोबेरेनर का क्या था? एटॉमिक मासेस के ऊपर बेस था. एनी क्लासिफिकेशन इज बेस्ड ऑन द सर्टन क्राइटेरिया. सर्टन क्राइटेरिया इज रिक्वायर्ड लाइक not only for the elements, but if we are moving towards a bio, then kingdom Plantae, cryptogame, phanerogame. Okay, there is certain difference between them, and there is a criteria like cryptogame and phanerogame. So cryptogame don't have basic structure, vascular system. Okay, and in the phanerogame there is a vascular system. In the cryptogame seeds are not present, and in the phanerogame seeds are present. It may be naked or it may be enclosed. That is the different part. So the cryptogame and phanerogame could see. So there is a criteria that cryptogame and phanerogame, there is a certain criteria like kingdom Plantae and kingdom Animalia. The most different thing between plants and animals is of the cell wall. The plants has cell wall while the animals don't have the cell wall. Yes. So the criteria how to classify plants and animals. So plants have cell wall. The criteria, what is the criteria of that? So the criteria is cell wall, like that. Here in the Dobereiner the criteria is atomic mass. On the basis of atomic mass he started arranging or to classify the elements. Okay, so he made the group of 3 elements. This might be asked in MCQ, how many elements did he make the group? So of 3 elements. Which were the 3? The 3 elements are having the same chemical property and name them as triad. So talking about lithium, sodium and potassium. So they are having same chemical property and they belong to group number. Let me know in the comments to which group they are belonging. Let me know. Okay, so lithium, sodium, potassium, these are the 3 elements having same chemical properties. So he took these 3 elements and called them as triads. Okay, he took 3 elements having same kind of property and named them as the triads. Okay, and arranged in the increasing order of their atomic masses. The criteria was atomic masses. You should be known about this. How did he arrange increasing order of their atomic masses? What is the symbol of atomic mass? If someone knows, please let me know in the comments. Okay, so if you don't know, I'll tell you. The symbol of atomic mass is A. Symbol of atomic mass is A. Okay, so now instead, see, atomic number is different and atomic mass is different. They both are 2 different terms. Atomic numbers symbol is Z while atomic mass symbol is A. if you want a descriptive video about atoms, elements, matter, so let me know. I'll just post a video on the topic matter in our surrounding. In that I'll cover all this topic. Okay, so atomic, let us see now how did he arranged. So named it as triads. The three element is a triad in an increasing order of their atomic masses, and showed that the atomic masses of middle element. So taking about lithium, let us read this first. Atomic masses of middle element was approximately equal to the mean of atomic masses of other two elements. Means atomic masses of middle element, so lithium, sodium, potassium. So this is the middle element. What is the atomic mass of sodium? That is 23. What is the atomic mass of lithium? 6.9 at that time, and potassium is 39.1. so if we are going to do mean of this, let us do mean. So lithium is 6.9. Yeah, here it is given 6.9. this you could just see 6.9. it is here 6.9 upon 3, 39.1 upon 2, that is 23. Approximately, not correctly, it is correctly equal, not approximately equal, exactly equal it is. Okay, so this is just about this case. But knowing about this calcium, strontium, barium, so they are approximately equal, not exactly equal, they are approximately equal. Okay, but if we are going toward chlorine, bromine, iodine, there is a huge difference between them. There is a huge difference between 18.2 and 79.9. So not only this, there were many elements. At Dobereiner's time, there were how many elements? Less than 30 elements, but he couldn't just classify that elements. Okay, so why the Dobereiner's classification got failed? This will be the question for you in the boards. If so, all the known elements could not be classified in the Dobereiner's triads. That's why. Okay, so please, if the question comes, write a short note on Dobereiner's triads. So first write in which year did he give, and write then information about him and what did he means. Then write this paragraph that he made a group of three elements and called it as triads. Then he arranged these elements in the increasing order of their atomic masses and showed that middle element was approximately equal to mean of other two elements. So this you could make points and never write answer in the paragraph. Always write the answer in the point. I prefer to write answer in the points. Okay, there are certain questions given for you. Please solve it these questions and let me know in the comments whether this have same chemical property or not. Okay, so how to do this? So as you know, these are the triads. So solve it by Dobereiner triad. Sum of middle element is equals to, इन दोनों की sum करो, do the sum of these two and divide it by 2. If this is equal to the calcium, then it has same chemical property because they are triads. So let me know the answer of these questions in the comment. So moving towards the next page, let us start by the next page. Okay, sorry. So here is our next page, that is Newland's laws of octaves. So let us start with Newland's laws of octave. So the Newland was an English scientist. Newlands, his name was only Newlands. Okay, so Newland was an English scientist. Newland tried to correlate the atomic masses. What he tried to correlate? He tried to correlate the atomic masses of the elements. The correlate word is very important. Okay, so this is important, but if you don't write it, you could lose your marks. Okay, so he tried to what? He tried to correlate between the atomic masses of the elements and to their properties in the different ways. That's the important statement. I'm underlining it. In which year did he give this classification? In the 1866. In which year did he give his classification? In the 1866 he gave this classification. That's Newland arranged elements known at that time in the increasing order of the. He also arranged in the increasing order of what? Atomic masses. Okay, so he also arranged the elements in the increasing order of their atomic masses. Okay, so and he started from the lightest metal. Hydrogen, and ended with thorium. Okay, started with the lightest metal, hydrogen. He found that, what did he found? The property of eighth element is similar to that of first. So you could see here, property of eighth element is similar to that of first. So this is the fluorine, chlorine. So they have same chemical property. So this could come here, fluorine, but this chlorine could come here, but as it is having similar property to a fluorine, so he kept it fluorine below the chlorine. Okay, so sodium is the eighth, shows similarity with barium, and chlorine shows similarity with fluorine. As I told, Newland compared this similarity with octaves in the music and called similarity observed in the 8 elements and the first as Newland's octave. उसने क्या किया कि उन 8 एलिमेंट्स को ऑब्जर्व किया, सभी एलिमेंट्स को उसने पहले ऑब्जर्व किया, उनको उनके इंक्रीजिंग ऑर्डर ऑफ एटॉमिक मासेस. मतलब इसका भी क्राइटेरिया क्या था? एटॉमिक मासेस था क्लासिफिकेशन का क्राइटेरिया. ठीक है, और यही इनकी गलती हो रही थी कि इन्होंने एटॉमिक मास लिया क्राइटेरिया. ठीक है, तो इसने पहले सभी एलिमेंट्स को क्लासिफाई किया और इसने देखा कि जो 4 एलिमेंट्स को क्लासिफाई करने के बाद जो 8th एलिमेंट है ना, इसकी प्रॉपर्टी जो 8 पूरे इसको क्लासिफाई करेंगे हम. इसको क्लासिफाई कर दिया पूरा. उसके बाद जो 8th एलिमेंट, यहाँ पर फ्लोरीन आएगा, समझिए, ऑक्सीजन फ्लोरीन, तब बाकी बीच में के एलिमेंट्स डिस्कवर होने के लिए. तो फ्लोरीन जो है हमने हाइड्रोजन के नीचे डाल दिया, क्योंकि हाइड्रोजन नॉन मेटल के साथ भी रिएक्ट, मतलब एक नॉन मेटल के टाइप भी रिएक्ट करते हैं. और जब यहाँ पर क्लोरीन आया तब क्लोरीन और फ्लोरीन की जो प्रॉपर्टी है वो सेम दिख रही थी, तो इसने क्या किया, क्लोरीन को यहाँ पर डाल दिया. तो ऐसे ही उसने दिमाग लगाया और इस सिमिलैरिटी को, मतलब 8th एलिमेंट और फर्स्ट एलिमेंट की सिमिलैरिटी को उसने क्या नाम दिया अपने क्लासिफिकेशन? न्यूलैंड्स लॉज ऑफ ऑक्टेव. सो यहाँ पे देखना, डोरेमी फासोलाती. तो आपको लग रहा होगा क्या है ये डोरेमी फासोलाती, तो यहाँ पर इसका आंसर दिया है. सो इन द इंडियन म्यूजिक सिस्टम देर आर द नोट्स कॉल्ड सारेगामा पधनी सा. वेस्टर्न म्यूजिक सिस्टम में भी नोट्स है, इट इज डोरेमी फासोलाती. यहाँ पे आपको कंपैरिजन भी दिया है, डोरेमी फासोलाती, सारेगामा पधनी. दिस इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट एलिमेंट, दिस इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टेबल. ओके, सो व्हाट आर द लिमिटेशंस? सो न्यूलैंड्स ऑक्टेव्स के लिमिटेशंस क्या थे ये देखेंगे अभी. तो यहाँ पर जो है आपको एक टेबुलर फॉर्म में दिया है इसका आंसर, पर अगर आपको इसका आंसर पॉइंट्स में चाहिए होगा, सो प्लीज़ लेट मी नो इन द कमेंट्स. लिमिटेशंस ऑफ न्यूलैंड्स ऑक्टेव, डीमेरिट्स ऑफ न्यूलैंड्स ऑक्टेव्स. लिमिटेशंस भी बोल सकते हैं आप, डीमेरिट्स भी बोल सकते हैं. ठीक है, सो न्यूलैंड्स ऑक्टेव्स वॉज ओनली एप्लीकेबल अप टू द कैल्शियम. ये पहला डीमेरिट, सिर्फ कैल्शियम तक एप्लीकेबल था न्यूलैंड्स ऑक्टेव्स. ओनली अप टू कैल्शियम इट वॉज एप्लीकेबल. न्यूलैंड्स ऑक्टेव वॉज ओनली एप्लीकेबल अप टू कैल्शियम. ओनली अप टू कैल्शियम इट वॉज एप्लीकेबल. इसके बाद के जो एलिमेंट्स थे वो क्लासीफाई नहीं कर पाया. नेक्स्ट इज, to accommodate the element into 7 into 8, that is 56 element in the table, he fitted 2 elements in the each table. Yes, you could see here he fitted 2 elements in the each table, like cobalt and nickel he put, and also cerium and lanthanide he put it together. So that's one of the demerit or limitation. Newland placed iron away from cobalt and nickel and along with non-metals like oxygen sulfur under the node T, while cobalt and nickel were placed under the node DO. So here you could see iron was placed away from cobalt and nickel. Cobalt and nickel are not non-metals and they are placed in the under node DO, where non-metals are present, and here ferrous, that is iron, it was kept under the node T, where also the non-metals were present. So that is also limitation. ये जो मैं बोल रही हूँ मेरे नोट्स से देख के बोल रही हूँ. इफ़ यू वांट माय नोट्स प्लीज़ लेट मी नो इन द कमेंट्स. There were no provisions for newly discovered elements in the Newlands octaves. So newly discovered elements, if there is helium after the 18th century, the noble gas started discovering, and so if there is an element helium, so there was no place for helium, there was no place for newly discovered elements in the Newlands octaves. So here lecture 1 gets complete, and I'm giving you a very particular lesson, means I'm giving you a very particular lecture and very deep lecture, so that you could understand each and everything from this lecture. So please do like, share and subscribe this channel, the Universal Classroom. And if you want lecture 2, please let me know in the comments. And if someone don't know the terms like atom, compound, elements, mixture, all the terms, so let me know. I'll just provide you the notes, and also I'll post the video on the topic matter in our surrounding. It's the very easy topic but very important topic. It's a base of chemistry and you should know about that. So thank you, thank you all.